doing their quarterly class. Yeah, that's the full packet. So this is just the agenda, which is right there. So you just need one of those, and that last page didn't get attached. So that's all you need if you want the full packet.
Ah. Do we need you?
For the minute.
Turn the camera on anyway.
Yeah, don't tell him I said. Next year, we're gonna do we need you?
We're ready.
We're ready? We don't have to wait on Todd? Okay. All right, meeting will come to order. Say meeting, regular meeting. All right, let's see. July the 21st. And CJ Zettelmold, correct? We'll have our prayer for
God, we thank you once again for today, for the breath in our lungs, for this beautiful place we live in, for the freedom we find here in this country. God, we thank you for the freedom we find in our spiritual walk with you, through your son Jesus. God, on the cross to pay for our sins, resurrected again, that we can be set free. God, we pray for those in our county that may only know you by name, that they would call you Lord, that they would surrender to your will for their life. God, we thank you for the positions we have, and you ordained this moment for this week tonight. We pray that you would begin to lead us even further than you already have, every step of the way.
it. Thank you very much. And he's from Love Chapel Christian Church. He said anytime you want to visit, you'd be welcome. Okay. All right. We'll do a song. Okay. We'll do a little song here before we do the pledge, is that okay?
I'm gonna sit down.
Rangers got your safety needs covered.
I walked through a county courthouse square on a park bench, an old man was sitting there. I said, the old courthouse is kind of run down. He said, no, it'll be right on down. I said, the old flagpole is leaning a little bit, and that's a ragged old flag you got hanging on it. He said, have a seat. And I sat down. Is this the first time you've been to our little town? I said, I think it is. He said, I don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that flag. You see, we got a little hole in that flag there when Washington took it across the Delaware. And it got powder burned the night Francis Scott Key said, what did it write and say, can you see? And it got a bad rip in New Orleans She got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville. She got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee, Beauregard, and Bragg, and the south wind blew hard and went right away. On Flanders Field in World War I, she got a big hole from a bird gun. She turned blood red in World War II. She hung limp and low. She was in Korea, Vietnam. She went where she was sent by her Uncle Sam. She waved from our ships upon the briny foam, and now they've about quit back here home. In her own good land, she's been abused. She's been burned, dishonored, denied, refused, and the government for which she stands is scandalized throughout the land. And she's getting threadbare and she's wearing thin, but she's in good shape. She's been through the fire before, and I believe she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning, we take her down every night, we don't let her touch the ground, we hold her upright. On second thought, I do like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of that ragged old.
Okay, now, Mark. Lead us in the pledge.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So if you like to call the rolls or not.
Alderman Day.
Here.
Alderman Lemon.
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Vice Mayor Radford.
Here.
Mayor McIntyre.
Here. Okay, like to ask approval of the June 16th regular BMA meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion approved.
Second. Alderman Day.
Yes.
Alderman Lemon.
Yes.
Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford.
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on. We want to approve the July 7th BMA special call minutes, meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Alderman Day.
Yes.
Alderman Lemon.
Yes.
Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford.
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Okay, previous request, none. Okay, opportunity for citizens to comment. Okay. Old business. You unfinished business. Other business. Okay, now we've got an ordinance, 441. And this ordinance is regarding the speed limit on Meadowstone Drive. And we've got a petition here, it's got 23 residents on it, they're all from Meadowstone Drive. And so they feel like the speed limit needs to be 15 miles an hour. Do we have a motion to?
Motion approved.
Second.
Alderman Day.
Yes.
Alderman Lemon.
Yes.
Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford.
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. So Economic Development Board. Also, we didn't make it with us tonight. Let's see. Historical. Lisa. Lisa Wells.
You always stand here, or I have to go back?
Whatever you do there.
The recording, you do better over there. You need that or don't.
Okay. Thank you.
We got some true chairs. Chairs, kind of, so that, all of that, we got two chairs. And then Saturday, we're having the ice cream social. We're having homemade ice cream. And we will have a school hall ice cream day. We'll be getting ice free, everything's free. We'll be having water bottles, and water games, cornhole, just a little bit of everything. Just whatever the kids need to do, that's their day, it's kind of the last day, or last thing before they go back to school. So give them something to do. And anybody that wants to come out and help or get water bottles fund at them. Kids love doing that, so. Anyway, as long as it is, it's all it is. And, see, I think it's in August, I think we're looking at maybe a tea, a meeting of tea, what they call, Whittle Bees and tea, so we'll have more information on that, like, the first of the month.
How many do you expect to have out there, Lisa?
Well, I don't, during the school last year, I don't even know. I don't even know how many pounds I was supposed to be.
And Lisa's also looking into getting a flagpole
Yeah,
for the cat. So if anybody has any connections on flagpoles, we've talked about it.
yeah, we're working on the last one. That we need to use everything.
So if anybody has any ideas on that, we appreciate it.
Yeah. But if anybody wants to come out and help, or, you know, just come and sit and watch everybody do their play. That's stuff for the community.
Thank you.
Okay.
So,
All right, the planning commission met on July 7th, 2025. Under new business was discussion on Sunday Lane division. This was for discussion only. The owner of the property will bring more information to the board in next month's meeting. And discussion also and action on data center ordinance. Our town does not have an ordinance that would prevent a data mining center that would include cryptocurrency mining operations and general data processing facilities. The purpose of this ordinance is to create an M1 district that would not leave our town open for a mining operation to come in and apply for any of the districts in our town. With this ordinance, M1 would be the only place that mining would be allowed. After board discussion with several public opinions for citizens, our First Tennessee Development Agency, town city recorder, and town attorney stated by adding a M1 district, this is the procedure that other towns are doing for prevention, not opening the door but to close it. The board voted unanimously to approve adding a M1 district with 2 members being absent. This will go before the BMA to amend the zoning ordinance to add a M1 districts with 2 readings and a public hearing. The Board of Zoning Appeals met also on July 7th, 2025, under new business, discussion, action, a variance for front setbacks for property located at tax map 008, parcel 069.01 for Rachel Light. The board voted unanimously to approve a variance for a front setback for 30 feet and a 5-foot side variance under hardship clause due to the irregular and steep lay of the land. Also, discussion action of variance for front setback for property located at tax map 005D, Group D, parcel 003.00 for Teresa Davis. She was granted a 22-foot variance for a carport cover over a portion of existing driveway on the side of the house due to the terrain being too steep for a carport on the back side. Also, a discussion action of variance for front setbacks for property located at tax map 005D, Group D, parcel 006.004 for Teresa Davis. This is a corner lot. Mrs. Davis asked for a 2.5-foot variance. No action was taken due to no variance required.
Thank you. Okay, let's see now, Amber.
All right, Mountain Harvest Kitchen for the month of June had 30 active members. I gave 5 tours. There were 4 clients actively processing for a total of 166 hours. A year-to-year comparison in June of 25 did much better than June of 2024. Last year it was 1,960. This year was 3,816. We've had 12 storage clients for the month of June, and the overall revenue was 3,816. No deposits to add to that. The kitchen right now is hosting, the public library is hosting a class over there, so when I'm done here, I'm gonna go over there and help them finish up. UT Extension is also interested in doing classes at the kitchen. These would be done once a quarter, free to the public. If there were to be any sort of cost or charge to members to attend these classes, then the kitchen would retain a portion of that. Otherwise, it's great to get people into the kitchen and exposed to the kitchen and the facilities there. We did receive through Sync Space, they worked on a grant and received ones over $200,000 to be spent on improvements in entrepreneurship training programs over the course of the next 3 years for the kitchen. So I'm hoping soon we'll be able to have a workshop to really go over the budget and how we want to see the kitchen use these funds. Another program that the Kitchen Founders Forge would like to see happen in the kitchen is Avante. It's like a training boot camp. Essentially, one Tuesday night for 6 weeks would be blocked off, and people in the public would pay to go to the class. $100, the kitchen would get a small portion of that, and it's just supposed to build up entrepreneurs, people who might, after they do that class, join the kitchen. So again, I'm going to have more in-depth details on all of this on a staff report and potentially do a workshop on it, just so we're all on the same page. In addition to that, I'll be meeting with the advisory committee next month so that they can kind of go over what I have to present to you prior to. Otherwise, the kitchen is doing better than it did last year. Last month in May, there was more income than this month. And then it just fluctuates depending on the clients. If they do a lot of hours, but they have a membership package, then those extra hours come as overages for the next month. So that's why the numbers might seem a little off. But that's the kitchen.
And Amber puts in a lot of work on that. I think when she gets done, nobody will say what kitchen. That's what we're trying to do, Eddie, get everybody, wide awake about the kitchen and try
We want everyone to know about it.
Okay, now, let's see, what we got now? Communications,
The
park recreation, marketing.
Yep, so Flag Football League, CSEF, if you're interested in that. I'm hoping to do a cleanup of the Buffalo Creek Park and Arboretum with Lisa and some other town staff. Tentatively set for August 22nd, but we'll review that again in the next coming weeks just to solidify what needs to be done out there and what we can do to improve out at the cabin. There are cruise-ins every Friday from 5:30 to 7:30, food trucks on site. The community art sale just happened over Saturday. It was a great turnout. The parking lot was completely full. So if you were able to stop by, thank you. If you want to stop by at another yard sale, the next one's going to be September 13th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Same thing as always. It's first come, first served, $10 to be a vendor. And it being fall time, we anticipate just as good of a crowd as July. I submitted one advertisement so far in this fiscal year to Blue Ridge Motorcycle Magazine. It's a picture of Shepherd's Glen, and it states, "Don't just do it for the ride, do it for the view." It's a beautiful sunset picture. The 2025 Freedom Festival was very successful. There were no issues or hiccups. We had a meeting to prepare for next year, what we could do since it's going to be the 250th birthday of America. We received a lot of compliments on the fireworks for this year. The guys did a great job there. And for next year's festivals, 2026 Strawberry Festival and Freedom Festival, I'm working on the logos, the budgets, and to approve the sanctioning of the festivals in the next couple of months. That way we can get started early planning and preparing for the festival season. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. You done a good job. Okay, we got the police. What I got to say there, Chris?
We had 20 expositions this month. As far as calls go, we already did, was not able to get up to work back. As soon as we got that. You said 20 citations?
Everything going well?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, good. And we got a new officer, didn't we? Would you like to tell them about the new officer?
Yes, Willie Higgins, he works DPSU, the sergeant on Nation, DPSU Police Department. He came over to fill our part-time position. He worked with the county before, so he's familiar with this area. He's ready to get going and everything, so I think he got lined up today with all the years stuff. I think they're right. He's ready to get going.
When did you start, Chris?
He's already started.
He's already started.
Yeah, he's been here to get familiar with everything. Yes, sir.
Seth, court report.
For the month of June, there were 17 court payments totaling $2,465.
Okay. Recorder report.
The first thing I'm going to do is update Massachusetts Avenue. So they broke the project in kind of two pieces now. They're going to try to get the school area done as soon as possible, with school starting back in the next couple of weeks. So they broke away from the bottom where they were doing and are doing some school stuff first to get that area prepared for the infrastructure relief for the teachers and students. But they're rolling right along on it. There's no other delays or anything. We decided to shorten the width of the trench and make it, what was it exactly? Did we widen the trench and shorten the?
Yeah,
The depth.
what was, the road was falling in.
Yeah.
So they was trying to go with the trench and cut, but down on the lower end, they didn't have anything left time it fell in, like 18 inches or so on each. We had to come up with a different plan, just went ahead and took all the pavement up. And then they got down to the 57 stone and compacted it, and what they'd done, they put crusher run on top of the 57 without compacting it. So the fines from the crusher run went down into the 57, so that's what made the road give way. So what they done, they come in, taking all the crusher run out down to the 57, compacting that, put the fabric on it, put the crusher run on top of that and compacting it, and then put the binder. And they've already got from Jess Hobson Road down, they've already got the binder on. And all they need to do now is to finish coat. And if you ride down there, right, it looks good. I mean, it's time. We've had so many compliments on that. And like I said, they're getting started now at the school, trying to get in front of the school done before it fires up. And they can go back to their original plan up there where there's not so much water. They can take the trench out, do the right stone, compact it, put the fabric in, compact it again, and move on with it. But they're really, this new thing, they're moving on with it.
Yeah, so they're doing good in Massachusetts. Horton Road reconstruction is nearly finished. They've got all the preliminary grade work done from that. They're just waiting on paving, which should commence this week on Horton Road. And I know State Representative Renee Jones was here last month to speak about the governor's grant and other different things that she was talking about. I know Charles had asked her if there was any update as far as Unicoi Drive from that grant. If there was any update for the town of Unicoi where I submitted a grant application to the state. Not long after Renee was here, I received confirmation from the state that we were denied tentatively until FEMA denied us. So there's a whole bunch of steps you have to go through before one organization will take over before another will say, yeah, they'll do it. So we have to have a formal denial from FEMA denying our damages to Unicoi Drive before the state governor's grant would take effect. So I've actually met with FEMA starting today was our first field visits to different impacted places. Today we visited 3 different culverts that there was some significant washout all around Marbleton. One was at the intersection of Marbleton and Unicoi, and there's a pretty big ditch there that FEMA we spent probably close to an hour at that particular spot. And then we moved on to the culvert there at Anderson Chapel, also on Marbleton. They spent probably 45 minutes there evaluating that. And then we moved up to the one on Oak Drive, the intersection of Marbleton with Oak Drive up near the church there. And they spent a pretty good amount of time there because there was a pretty good gully that was washed out there by the storm. So FEMA has started their process. Tomorrow they're going to, So FEMA has started the process, and then tomorrow they're going to look at Unicoi Drive in detail. That's the one that we were kind of hoping that they would give us a, this is a residual damage thing we're going to outright deny it. But when I had a meeting with several FEMA staff members last week, they said, well, is that what you want me to do? Do you want me to deny it? And I said, well, no, not if you can give us some money for it. So they're actually, they think that we might can have some coverage through FEMA for Unicoi Drive from where all the trucks have came through and just obliterated the road. But we have to have an official process. They have to officially deny it for us to be able to get some money from the state to repair it. But hopefully FEMA itself will be able to support us there. So tomorrow is when they're going to evaluate Unicoi Drive from the truck damage. And, the quarry is closed to local traffic. The only people that can use it are hurricane relief places, right? So all of the gravel and things that they pull from the quarry now isn't local. It's all going to Rock Creek or different places in Irwin and not here in the town of Unicoi. So to me, that seems like that would be something that the town should use to its advantage as far as getting FEMA funding, because the town's not benefiting from the quarry being open. Only people, it's just for recovery. So hopefully that'll be our grounds for FEMA to help us there. And then proceeding next 2 weeks, it's about a 2-week period where I'll be working with FEMA. We'll be having several site visits to different impacted places by the hurricane. I know there's some trees and different damage that's still along the roadways. I know up on around the golf course, there's still a lot of debris left laying there. So that's being adjusted by them, and it's a slow process. Like today, there was 3 different FEMA agents that were doing the same job as one adjuster from an insurance company would do. And I guess that's kind of how the federal government works with their red tape and a bunch of people. It's a lot of overlay there. But they have been very, very helping to us as far as reopening the submission process, because when I started, there wasn't a FEMA application in place for the town of Unicoi. So they did a late submission for us, which took place in February, which was after the deadline for Helene. But they've been very cordial and very on the ball about as far as getting to make sure that we have everything we need to try to get some money from them for these projects. And I was a little long about one little thing about Unicoi Drive, but that was just kind of an update about where we are with the FEMA process, about everything there. But yeah, that's all I've got for the recorder's report.
Okay. Now, financial.
So in the general fund for June 2025, our revenue was $201,174. Our expenses were $251,341, which meant we had a net loss for June of $50,168. Those were all road-related charges, mostly from Massachusetts and Horton and that sort of thing. That brought our year-to-date total revenue of $2,144,073. Our year-to-date total of expenses of $1,747,037, which meant that our net income for fiscal year 2025 tentatively is $397,037. For the Mountain Harvest Kitchen, our revenue was $3,978, with expenses totaling $6,133, which brought our net income for June 25, the Mountain Harvest Kitchen, to a loss of $2,155. Our year-to-date totals for Mountain Harvest Kitchen for fiscal year 25, $49,799, with $97,802 in expenses, which means for 2025 we lost $48,003 at the Mountain Harvest Kitchen. That's all I got for financials.
I hear a motion to approve the financial report.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Alderman Day,
Yes.
Alderman Lemon,
Yes.
Alderman Phillips. Yes. Vice Mayor Radford,
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Does anyone else have any announcements? I'd like to say we got a grant for $249,000. And that went to a home. You know, when we put that out, though, we never know where it's gonna go. And so the people down on Parsley Street in Unicoi that lived in an old Victorian house. And it was, you know, anyhow, they got the house tore down, getting ready to put the new house up. So that's where that grant money went. And it went to a good cause, you know. When we get it, we never know where it's going, but I think we done good on that.
Yeah, and it's a straight pass through. That's no cost to the town.
Yeah, it was, you know, no max grant, and people have a good home, they needed it, and it'll be good for the neighborhood. It's all good. Is there anything else?
Our next planning commission and BZA meeting will be held on Monday, August the 4th at 5:30 right here. And then the next BMA meeting will be held on Monday, August the 18th at 5:30 right here. And that'll be the second reading public hearing of the ordinance to decrease the speed limit on Meadowstone Drive.
And if anybody does want to volunteer for like down at the cabin or anything else we're doing, we can't never do it to volunteer.
We got a special call meeting
We do.
also.
So, yeah, there will be a special meeting on August the 1st at 4 o'clock right here. It's for the second reading of, that's a good catch, Charles. It's for the second reading of the ordinance to try to contain Bitcoin mines, or rather to stop it. We had a pretty hearty discussion at the last planning commission, like that was talked about earlier when Vice Mayor Radford read her minutes. You know, there was a citizen that tipped, for you guys that weren't here for that, there was a citizen that tipped us off that a Bitcoin mine is probably coming to Unicoi County. They were concerned that it was coming here to the town of Unicoi. So our attorney and our planner, they decided our best action method was to put it into a zone that we currently don't have. M1, we don't have anything in M1, so if a Bitcoin mine wanted to come here, they would have to come before the planning commission to get their piece of property rezoned from agricultural or M2 or anything else to an M1 zone. And then from there, it would have to be rezoned twice at BMA meetings. So that gives us 3 potential gates to stop a Bitcoin mine from coming. I know everybody, the thing that I would like to see myself was just outright say, no, we just want to say no Bitcoin mines, but apparently that's no longer something feasible in the state of Tennessee like it was when we implemented it for the asphalt. So we're trying to put the best guardrails up we can to stop it from coming. But that will be August the 1st on a Friday at 4 p.m. right here. And that's our exact 21-day wait period that we have to do before we could have the second reading. You said
Well, I
4
called-
p.m.? 4 p.m.
I called MTS again. I talked to Pete Auger this morning again. And he confirmed that you cannot ban a business from coming. He said that you can regulate it through zoning and ordinances. He said, I explained to him what we was doing, and he said that is the smartest and the most efficient and effective way to do this. He said, you guys just effectively closed any avenue that they've got.
That's what we're hoping.
He said you closed every avenue, he said, that they've got at this point. He said that it cannot happen. Besides, we would have to spot zone it, and spot zone is illegal, but he did tell me that it's illegal to ban a business in the state of Tennessee. He said, you could just try, he said, y'all could not enact an ordinance, but they'll sue you.
Well, that's what we voted on.
Yeah, so, and I told him we 2/3 of the way through the process, and he said, you all done the smartest thing that you could do back there.
And I'd like to say before we adjourn, everybody that's in here, even if you don't have business, come back, be a part of our meetings. And that way people say, well, what's going on? Get involved. Okay, thank you for being here. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Anybody have anything want or don't want to close the meeting? Adjourned by unanimous consent.
All right.
How big of a flagpole y'all